Spirit. I'm gonna go check something real quick. Inflation, if anything, is not poorly, unfortunately. For them. Here's what I want to say. It's 2026. If you've seen the movie Get Out, any black horror film, then you possibly know what it is that I'm experiencing in the city of Tucson. My name is Janine Christie Paxton Perkins Hill. I was born September 30th, 1975, and I'm being held hostage in this city. They won't allow me to make money so that I can build a business, build a life for me, or leave. Don't believe me? I had to file a complaint against a city employee who would not allow me to make $75 cleaning up other homeless people's encampments because he said I hadn't picked up enough trash. That turned into a full blown investigation, and the state's holding me hostage. They're not seeking ransom as far as I can see. They want to use me for my unique gifts and abilities. City planning, city management. This channel and the channels prior to this are a testament. I said I could build it on YouTube, I could build it in the streets, I could build it in the globe, I could build it in the galaxy, and now they're mad. They cannot produce a prosperous seed in this city without me. And I refuse to assist them in sowing a seed of victory without. Holding the city legislature accountable, along with the city of South Tucson, thanks to Brian, along with the state of Arizona, thanks to Mays and Hobbs, along with the United States President, i.e., the country. Because my unique set of gifts and abilities, they can go anywhere in the world and build a business and be free. I live in a country where if you look like me, you aren't allowed to be free. Slavery never ended, ladies and gentlemen. We're approaching Juneteenth. So we need to do some understanding this year when it comes to the Emancipation Proclamation. Children can emancipate themselves from their parents while still living with their parents. It means that they have authority over their own body. It does not mean that they are free to run around in polite society, claiming it's a danger to themselves or others for them to be free, which is what predominant society would say about me. See? 12 scientists have gone missing, speaking about the science that I've been teaching. The Space Force is here. Davis Monthan is here. Sierra Vista is down the road. Raytheon is here. I believe that Lockheed Martin is here. There are nuclear weapons here. They want to know if I'm one of them or if I can set them off. See, my unique set of gifts and abilities come with the knowledge that you cannot get in college. So much so that they had to move the War College closer to me at Arizona State University. They didn't want me to see that they built an entire degree around me and what I've been teaching. And then there's the cannabis medicine piece, which I have yet to sell or give to anybody. Truly been trying to copy me. The way that Anton Daniels was trying to copy me. From what I can tell, both businesses are failing exponentially. Didn't believe that I could teach you financial literacy by way of running your pockets dry for messing with me. But I told you to talk to Tarjay, or you'd find out the hard way. I am an indigenous American black woman. I was born on American soil. I am not an African. I did not come here as a part of some white man's plan. I ain't come over here on a boat. I was born right here in America, like a lot of us. We weren't slaves. We'll never be slaves. So I'm going to keep talking until you abolish slavery in this country and set me free. See, it's time. It's time for the Europeans to set America free, and it's time for the Americas to set indigenous people free from the colonization and or the stealing of this nation by way of reparation. After you make restitution to those of us who are still living witnesses to the abuses and atrocities of American society post civil rights. What was the term that they called it after the Civil War when they rebuilt society? That's what we need to call this. We'll start over again. Admit your sins. It's easy to make amends then. Make amends amongst your friends and your kin. Leave us out of it. We weren't involved in what caused you to hate us in the first place. Accept that we know what you did and you know that you were wrong and that you'll be forgiven by the creator of all things, not us. We don't need to witness it. Whether or not you'll live long enough for us to witness it or anybody else is of no concern. What is of concern to us is that you're still walking free in society while being a Klansman or whatever the case may be. And we are doing away with slavery. I told you, it's a simple thing. Before it was civil rights, it was a labor movement. People want to work. People feel dignified when they bring home pay for work that they did that day. That's why the $75 a week homeless work, $75 a day up to $600 program works because people feel as if they have achieved their pay that day. They paved their way. You take that away when you force them to go to work every day so that you can make a way for you and yours while leaving them out. That's more about culture than it is about mission, vision. It does affect the value of your business. Once people realize that you don't value them individually, they begin to devalue your business with the things that they do: leakage, shrinkage, shortages. Errors begin happening more frequently. We're on YouTube, so I want to say this to the content creators. I posted somewhere my playlist that is about a podcast series about content creators in the beginning, those first couple of years of COVID, right? And it's still relevant today. This is what we call evergreen content. This is what you want to be able to create. Unfortunately, for the majority of you, what you have done is turn your lives into evergreen content, which means for the rest of your life, you're going to have to sell your life as a lifestyle brand. So if you're going through homelessness, poverty, when you're on your high notes, you'll have to sell it all as a lifestyle. And you're going to have to make it look good so that people will tune in. Because if you look desperate during your impoverished state, they will see you as desperate. And while they'll relate, they'll want to get away from you because misery loves company. And they don't want to commiserate because they know they're one paycheck away from the same state. Now, here's the most important thing when it comes to financial literacy: social media and everything about it is based on someone having, wait for it, disposable income. That means you can throw it away like a disposable vape, disappear, and you won't miss it. How many people do you know today who have disposable income? Most of you claim you can't help the homeless person that you see on the street because then you won't have enough money to eat. That empire destitute. Damn here. It's You don't even have the 6 years that they claim that the Social Security fund has. Baby, I can hear you hating on the idea that you can no longer hate on the homeless. What's the golden rule, ladies and gentlemen? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Now, me, I do that differently. Do unto others as you would have them do unto your mother, your lover, the person who's most important to you in your life, and it's usually not you, and then you'll change your tune. Do unto others as you would have them do unto the next seed you plant. How do you go about sowing a seed? Is it with love or is it blowing out bags, Jack? My relationship during COVID began to fail when I was offered an interview for an ambassadorship with Make Love, Not Porn. Something that I had looked into before I ever met Daniel Isaiah Glover Jr. Well, yeah, it was. Long story short, he became jealous, enraged by it. He waited to commit the violent acts after my son moved out of the house. Because that's what narcissists do. Hey, ma'am, they choose to attack you when you are at your most vulnerable. In 2022, I was already sick and dying. Hold on for a second. Okay, so as I was saying, as is normal for an abuser, they will wait till other people are gone so that they cannot see it, because otherwise they won't be able to turn the story the way that they need to. Right? If someone sees them abusing you, then they can't. There's a witness. Right? So when it comes to abuse, like the DV in my marriage, my children were young, and in my mind's eye, I protected them from the repeated traumatic impact of witnessing that. I gave over certain parts of who I was as a human being so that he would not abuse us. And then I ensured that it wasn't brought up conversationally inside of our home so that the old wound would be able to heal. And were there new ones, they would learn how to deal by way of self soothing. You see. So I taught my children other ways of healing by way of discipline, uh, their inner childhood experiences, or what we call adverse childhood experiences, right? Those adverse childhood experiences were not the direct result of me. However, the impact of me being abused had a direct effect on them. And we carry that forward as human beings if we do not have a parent who is loving enough to say, I've got to stop this somewhere. So I learned to apologize to my son for what it was that he saw when he was young, the eldest. I learned to communicate with the others so that they would recognize why sometimes he might see things differently or I. I attempted my best to not villainize their father because, as I just told you, I was looking to close wounds, not leave them open and oozing. So my children were allowed to see their father as the veteran service member that he actually was and or is. He served his country for 20 years. He put his life on the line and he went to war. We all owe him respect for that. The unfortunate reality that he came back with a level of PTSD that made him do other things. We need to discuss with the United States government and the fact that they hid us from the rest of the world by waking up nothing than a number behind the social security number or attached to it. You want to talk about prisoners of war or prisoners who are nothing but a number? That's not those men and women who are in prison. They chose their sentence. We didn't. We've been made to live with monsters and corpses and demons and wannabe deities. Since the birth, we have to decide no more war. We have to decide no more raping, pillaging, and enslavement of the innocent. We have to decide it is no longer okay to war with a neighboring tribe where we could absorb each other and live rent free on the land that God provided for us and meant to be evergreen, not social media. Ding that. You're not meant to build a life off of the Tower of Babel. You are not meant to be the babbling brook of bullshit either. You have a reason, you have a calling over your life. You have to determine what that is. Social media ain't it. It's a means to an end, and it is super finicky, baby. Because if you don't fit into every trend, your money will always dip in the end, and you will run out of dividends. So then your social media content creator economic TED Talk with Janine Christie, Paxton Perkins Hill, the hostage. in Tucson has been teaching financial literacy to a bunch of idiots who leave Regina Romero and Chris Danos in office, and me living rent free in everybody's head. I told someone recently that perhaps if y'all would stop thinking so much about me, the creator of all things would be able to give me a house. But as long as I'm living rent free in your head, he figured she fine. Because the creator did not make this brick and mortar bullshit. Man did. They can't tell me to use his address, can you? Well, Jesus' phone number. But y'all call on the Lord all the time. When you call on the Lord, you be calling on me. Because prior to this moment in history, the Lord was a white dude to you. He was calling on the Lord, and he was getting Donald Trump and Elon Musk and all them white dudes who have access to what is it? Social media, the behind the scenes, the matrix, the algorithm, social security number, your identity, your data, your DNA. If they put that all together in the matrix and they pull on that one little green string, that is you. If they yoink your ass out of existence, you could exist without existing. Say you're one of those little data streams, right? Your data streams got holes in it, and they want to plug those holes. They can use anything to fix it. You were using alcohol and cocaine. They said, "Well, hey, why don't we introduce you to methamphetamine?" Invented. See? Fenty. Fendi? Rihanna sells what? You see how the things relate, overlap in that way? So they can indoctrinate you, get you hooked on the entertainment industry, introduce you to the drugs, and before you know it, you're pulled into the club. Also, be by your own plug. That's the unfortunate reality. Here's what happened. The industry was tanking in 2020. It was already going down in flames with the advent of streaming services. No one's going to concerts except for the big ones, and they can't afford to put those on because things happen like the Travis Scott incident. I ain't gonna say it. Well, I'm gonna say it. But anyway, so they decided to go to social media, and they realized that they can make money in social media. So they try to turn social media into the industry and start selling out contracts. Gil Arena is a good example of that. Anton Daniels and the Lapeef Network are the ones who started that, sort of, along with Kevin Samuel, attempting to build a black network on the backs of YouTube. Stupid move. Everyone who is on YouTube is otherwise a third party contractor or basically a volunteer. You don't get paid unless you get to a certain point, and then you can get Google Ad services to do X, Y, and Z. Now they added in the super chats because then people could pay you directly, but you still have to give some of that money to who? YouTube. Why? Because it's their business, not yours. If you are smart enough to have an LLC or whatever it is, then you do have a legal business, which is why they have to copyright these things, and they can copyright strike someone. So, however, when you steal from someone like me on this thing, you're stealing my intellectual property, and let's say your YouTuber university goes up in flames by way of the lead attorney, Anton Daniels, Kevin Samuels, Kai Sinat, and all of that. 11:11 on the clock as the school bell rings. Then you've got someone like Dan Gutierrez here in Tucson attempting to play the same game and steal my intellectual property because Y'all just didn't believe and knew what the fuck I was talking about, I guess. We are at this moment in history that if he doesn't make amends by way of paying you for the things that I've assisted him in recently, then he will be caught up along with Regina Romero, Chris Nanos, and the rest of you internet hoes. Data center. I'm the data the center was meant to capture. Hold me hostage. Steal my knowledge. Build your own college. And no one will ever notice. Think like the three-eyed raven in Game of Thrones before Bran in his wheelchair came along. See how I can relate everything back to the current administration's previous administration and the campaign where they used Game of Thrones against me. Don't think it was against me. I'm supposed to be Daenerys, the mother of three dragons. However, I'm much more like Catelyn Stark and willing to claw your eyes out and mine in order to see my children make it. Now you can feel the difference. Content creation is not a competition. Because you can't compete where you don't compare. Your niche is over there. I'm more like a global au pair. I can go anywhere, even the interstellars. Somebody needs to stay out of wine cellars. Something about Britney Spears and her conservatorship. Someone's walkie-talkie is on backwards. I don't know how you do that, but oh, you got it in a pocket. Okay. There are 6 degrees of separation. I can't say for certain that there are between me and Kevin Bacon, but if you were to say there's only 1 degree of separation between me and Donald Trump, really there's none because I used to work for him, just not direct report. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I am listening to the ethers if you're asking or wondering. This is something that your tarot readers or your supposed the divine beings should be able to do. There should be nothing but them and disability. This device doesn't mean anything. You can see that the headphones in because I'm using them to speak to you. However, I'm not listening to the surrounding environment. I am listening to the spiritual environment where I'm being asked other questions, which is why we created the spiritual court, which is known as God and the Sod. You go before the spiritual court every time someone calls you under judgment. We are all under judgment at this time in history because one, thanks to a tarot, but two, because pizza excess and Donald Trump called for a holy war. Now, they, being your lords, called on their overlords to rain down hellfire on you. See, not them, because they're holy, like the Pope and the King. Now, they're supposed to be holy, anointed. Funnily enough, you can tell me Donald Trump's address, but you can't tell me my address. So when I ask you which one of us is Jesus, it's an easy question to answer. See how it works? You can call on me easier than you can call on Donald Trump, yes or no? I'm right here next to you. You can access me. I be what Pimping hoes on the street. But you believe Donald Trump is the key to everything. When he was asking to get into heaven, what they say about a rich man getting into heaven? Highly unlikely, right? Something about a camel passing through the eye of a needle. Hey, which thing I noticed about Donald Trump lately, he turned the corner on. Like God said, the only way you gonna get it is to go through it. You see, you may not be able to be redeemed in the eyes of man, but man is man. Can you be redeemed in the eyes of the creator of all things? Can you go to God in prayer and say, I really effed up out there to the point where I X, Y, and Z? Can you come before man after going to God and admit to what you did? That's the ultimate sacrifice in the end. To stand naked before God and man and admit your sin. Only when you do that can you become forgiven. So, to the soul patrol, that's how it goes. Admit your sins naked before God and man. You'll be cleansed in the end. Anything short of that is exactly where you're at. And may the Most High bless you and keep you. I'm not here to redeem you.